Oh, yeah. Now, as you use the military's own virus protection software, just see if you can't find anything on these police. Now, somebody keeps messing with my emails, and I don't know how they slash them. Pooh. But there's got to be a way to sew into Gmail so as to slash my emails, and you don't know how upset it makes me when police and sheriffs don't enforce the law. They seem to think that it's an arbitrary decision where if I document a crime and you decide that as an American citizen I don't have any rights to law enforcement, I get to decide as an American citizen that I get to sue you. Now, I specifically emailed you a little note about, are you going to enforce my civil rights or are you going to continue violating the laws of the United States? I didn't get a phone call. Ooh, I didn't get an email. Pooh. Now, well, viruses are funny. Oh, I was kind of looking at this email, and viruses are very deceitful. Yes, they are. And these Nazi war crime violations, they actually involve some deception. Ooh. Where you tell the population that it's legal for you to do what you're doing, and then you deceive those that are citizens into believing you. Ooh, it's kind of like sewing in a key logging software that if it was the Air Force that you tried to do it, their software would pick it up in 1 second. But you're leaving big holes in the gap. Now, this corruption of data, ooh, you say I'm spamming when I email you the law. Now, this deception is an act of propagating a belief that is not true. Now, when you use propaganda as the sheriff's department, where you say, well, it's not true that he's having his civil rights violated, and he's a homeless, mentally ill man that doesn't understand. Now, when you use half truths or the omission of the actual laws of the United States, that deception can be a lawsuit where each and every officer of the Clallam County Police Department, Sheriff's Department, the Jefferson County Sheriff's Department, they can all end up in prison for propaganda, the belief that is not true that you can't issue court orders. Now, you've used propaganda, Sheriff Bill Benedict. Ooch. At least one of the emails that I did read said that I was mentally ill for wanting my civil rights enforced. But deception that involves the dissimulation, propaganda, and sleight of hand, as well as distraction, camouflage, or concealment. Concealing the crime of obstructing my rights, and that's another lawsuit. Now, you've been using some propaganda. There's also self deception, as in bad faith. It also can be called subterfuge, mystification, bluff, deceit, and beguilement. Poo, poo, poo. Social engineering. Let's say that you, as a county, decided to use psychological manipulation because of your influence in law enforcement. The psychological manipulation of society with the aim to change the behavioral perception of others through abusive, deceptive, or underhanded tactics. Now, I know I asked you today, are you going to enforce the actual laws of this state in the United States? I didn't get a response. Then I asked you, are you going to enforce my civil rights? Amendment 13th and 14th, and Amendment number 5. But I didn't get a response. Phew. Then I asked you, are you going to enforce the jurisdiction and laws of the United Nations? You decided. Now, when you use psychological manipulation of society to accomplish your Nazi way of doing things so that no one sees because they just don't understand the true meaning of what you're doing, it's a lot easier to sue every shit. Do you fucking understand? for the psychological manipulation of the societal influence of those in office. Now, advancing the interests of the manipulator. Phew, I've emailed you. I told you what the laws say. I told you what the federal law says. I told you what the civil rights laws say. I've told you what the United Nations laws say. And you decided that you would manipulate the population into accepting what you say because of your psychological manipulation of society. Could be a multi-billionaire. Now, another's expense such a consider exploitive. Wouldn't it be exploitive of the police department right now? Wouldn't it exploit your authority as police officers to refuse to enforce the civil rights of American citizens? Wouldn't it be abusive to both your power in office as well as to the citizens of the United States?